Welcome into Paul Catalina's Top 5, a two-parter today. Part 1 today, Part 2 tomorrow. Playoff Contenders Red Flags. Of course, brought to you by Texas Beef House. Use our promo code 365sports at texasbeefhouse.com. Let's get into it. Number 5. The BYU offense, the BYU defense, lethal. They will fight you tooth and nail. They'll get right in there like 30-style boxing. That's what they'll do. Their offense, while good, it's not great. It's also spotty at times, especially if you saw them playing against an elite defense like they did at Utah last week. It was tough for them. Jake Retzlaff has been a revelation for them. He makes big plays when it counts. They seem to do that, but they don't run the ball all that consistently, and the passing game gets a little bit spotty. So when it comes down to them in the playoff, this is the thing that has to get better. Their defense, though, championship caliber, and we've seen that all year long. Number 4. Notre Dame's passing offense. Notre Dame's defense is great. Their running game is great. Riley Leonard is a great leader, but not really the strongest passer. Plus, they don't have a lot of dynamic talent in the wide receiver core. They've got some good players, and they can make plays, wide receiver and tight end. But if you have a game where you've got to throw to win, like playing a good run defense, that's going to be a problem for the Irish. But so far, it hasn't been, except for one game this year against Northern Illinois, one that they would like us to forget. But as we know with a lot of things with the Catholic Church, when you make mistakes, people tend to bring them up. Number 3, Penn State playing anyone who's ranked, anyone who's good, anyone who's on their level. They don't really seem to beat them. This is a classic flaw in James Franklin's coaching career and has been. It's this big pain in the butt for Penn State fans. Anytime they play someone who's playoff caliber, they lose. So when this team, and they will be in the playoff, gets in the playoff, I don't know who they can beat because we've not really seen them beat playoff teams over the last few years. And that's just not me opining on this. That's the numbers bearing it out. So we'll see when they play other playoff teams how good Penn State is. But at this point, playing anybody who is ranked at their level or slightly above has been a bugaboo for the Nittany Lions. Number 2, Georgia, Carson Beck. Once thought to be the number 1 quarterback in this upcoming draft class, that is not the case anymore. He is a turnover machine lately, especially since the Texas game. Turnovers. Now, can he fix that? Certainly he can. But right now, especially if Georgia does wind up losing to Tennessee this week, I would bet it's because of a couple of Carson Beck turnovers, because that's been their Achilles heel all year long. And if Carson Beck does not stop turning the ball over, this is a team that will lose in the playoffs, which is something Georgia fans don't want to hear, but they're dealing with right now. And number 1, Miami's defense. Absolutely not good enough right now. Lost to Georgia Tech when Haynes King, who played most of the game, couldn't really throw a forward pass. He threw a couple. They had to bring in their third-string freshman quarterback to throw some passes and run some of the offense and give Haynes' shoulder a break, but they ran right at them. There are going to be teams in the playoffs they play that all have running games. Tennessee's got a great running game. Boise State has a great running game. Heck, if Army pulls off the impossible and gets in there, great running game. We talked about Notre Dame earlier. Miami, Notre Dame, Catholics versus convicts back again. Guess what's going to be a problem for them there? The running game. They've got to get that fixed, and fixed in a hurry, because it has not been good, and it's not just recently. It has been the entire season where they have been getting out by the skin of their teeth because of number 1, Cam Ward. That's going to do it for this episode of the Top 5. We're back again tomorrow with Part 2 of Playoff Teams Red Flags. I'm Paul Catalina. Let's wrap up the show.